like to call to order the meeting of the Allegany County Board of Education for December 12th, 2023. Please stand for the pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now have reading of the closed session summary for executive session for November 14th. Mr. Llewellyn.
The Allegany County Board of Education met in closed session on November 14th, 2023, here at Central Office at 4:00 p.m. to consult with legal counsel, discuss a personnel matter, and engage in administrative function. All 5 board members were present. The topics discussed was professional staff appointment, update on criminal trespass matter.
Thank you. We now move to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Dr. Bond?
Second.
Ms. Bender? Any questions? All those in favor? Approved unanimously. Now we get to jump into the part that I wait for about every year. The superintendent's report and the recognition of student Christmas card design.
Mr. Avey.
Mr. Avery.
Good evening, everyone. Every year we have a time-honored tradition of recognizing students for helping spread some holiday cheer by creating their best version of a holiday greeting card. And we have divided it into feeder system every year. Last year we recognized 4 people from the Mountain Ridge District. This year we're recognizing 4 from the Fort Hill feeder system. And thankfully, everybody's so busy, 3 of them are actually here. We did start something new last year, and I'll go ahead and start off with that now. We can't ignore in the 21st century how effective graphic design is. It's around us all the time. It's part of today's world. It's part of our lifestyles. And so a talented fellow named Michael Shockey started teaching graphic design at the Career Center. And last year we started to introduce the holiday card concept to that department. The winner of that is Zach Ellifritz, 12th grader at Mountain Ridge, actually. However, Zach is unable to be here. But if anyone's curious, this is what Zach's greeting card looks like. He was part of a finalist that was a stack of cards that was sent up for the board to select in the November meeting, and they selected Zach's greeting card, and Zach will receive the same recognition. It'll be sent to him at the Career Center. But now we get to something that we've been doing for literally decades now. The art of creating a greeting card with the nuances and techniques of your own hands. And we're going to start with our elementary greeting card. And the Fort Hill feeder system consists of several schools. This one came from John Humbard. She has a wonderful smile, and I think she's a little bit shy, but she's in the 5th grade. Her teacher, she's over there with her mother, Mallory, and her teacher is Miss Tiffany Buskirk, and I'd like to congratulate, I'll show you her card first. I'd like to congratulate and welcome to the floor Miss Lillian Tigret.
Lillian, on behalf of the board, I'd like to present you with this. Congratulations, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
From Washington Middle School, several cards were sent over, and again, the selection was very difficult for us to even pick finalists to send to the board, and I'm sure it was a difficult decision. But there was a card that stood out, and it stood out for me too personally. This student is the creator of this holiday card. And she is also here with her mother, and she's also here with her art teacher, the world famous Brian Rains. And I'd like to welcome her again to the floor to receive her recognition. Her name is Addison Furstenberg.
And my daughter's name's Addison, so that's extra special.
Congratulations. The most thought-provoking of all the recognitions that we do has to be the high school holiday card. They're typically so good, the top 10, the top 15, that it's hard to think that this person does not have the potential to start a career in graphic design right now. And this is her card. Her teacher is in Asheville, North Carolina at the moment, so he couldn't make it. But her teacher is Mr. Darren Isom. She's a student at Fort Hill High School in the 11th grade. Take a good look at this card while you welcome Vivian Brazard to the floor. Congratulations. Congratulations.
So impressed with the depth of that card. Great job, and that's from the board.
Very pleased. We'll get to select from the Allegany feeder system a year from now. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Okay, sure.
I'm sure we can get this to Zachary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank
Mr.
you very
Avey,
much.
just a quick question.
Sure.
Next door, when's the timeline that we have our art show next door? It's open to the public. It's in the spring, but
Well, the
it's a
April
tentative.
26th is the Allegheny County Art Show. It's not going to be next door. Next door is a beautiful facility, but it was a little bit too small for the artwork we traditionally like to send to the show. So it's going to be at City Place in Frostburg. We're having it up there for the first time. The reception's going to be on Thursday, the 28th at 6 p.m.
All in April?
Yes, April. And for the first time in the history of the program, we're going to do an advanced art show for juniors and seniors on May 3rd at the Hazen Gallery at Allegheny College. That's new. But I'll remind everybody about that when we get to Youth Art Month in March.
Hopefully our students who are successful here also have some pieces for the art show. And if you haven't been to the art show, it's amazing. You walk through, and you're right, we needed more space. So I'm glad to hear we're even in a larger
Yes,
building.
yes.
Such talented students with our teachers just leading the way. It's pretty amazing.
And I have a handful of art faculty that live in Frostburg, and they're already just all over it, every little detail of it. And coincidentally, we picked the perfect weekend to have it because the Frostburg Arts Walk is going to be the same weekend.
Wow.
So it's going to be a very, very attractive show for a lot of reasons, a lot of community appeal. So
Congratulations and Merry Christmas.
thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you.
You folks are welcome to stay if you want, or you can be excused. Okay. Next on the agenda is the recognition of the swimming accomplishments. Ms. Heidi Lawford.
So it's indeed a pleasure to be here, and this is a first for me in 37 years in public education to speak about a student athlete who is a swimmer. And it really is with the utmost pleasure that I get to be here this evening with Daniel Deal and talk about his accomplishments. He's currently completing his senior year of high school before the holiday break, and he's committed to attend to swim at North Carolina State University, which will begin in January. Daniel won 2 silver medals at the 9th World Aquatics Junior Championships, the 200 individual medley and 200 backstroke. On a side note, I had to call Daniel down, which I have had him in my office many times, to inquire about what the IM stood for in competition. And he was very patient, and he informed me that it involved 4 different swimming strokes on consecutive lengths of the race, and the order must be a butterfly stroke, a backstroke, a breaststroke, and the freestyle. Daniel also has won 3 gold medals in the 4x200 freestyle relay, the 4x100 medley relay, and the 4x100 freestyle relay, where his team also broke a world junior record. He's a 5-time champion at the YMCA Long Course Championships, the 100 fly stroke, 200 individual medley, 200 freestyle, 100 freestyle, and 100 backstroke. In addition, he's a 3-time champion at the YMCA Short Course Championships. That involved the 200 backstroke, the 200 individual medley, and the 100 backstroke. He won 4 gold medals at the Junior Pan Pacific Swimming Championships in the 100 backstroke, 4x100 freestyle, 4x100 medley relay, and the mixed 4x100 medley relay. That 4x100 freestyle team broke a world junior record. To think this isn't enough, Daniel also holds 3 national age group records in the 100-yard backstroke ages 13 and 14, the 100 long course meter backstroke ages 15 and 16, and currently the 100 long course meter backstroke ages 17 and 18. So he, I've learned a lot about swimming and had to read a lot about swimming. He is quite an athlete, but he's also a student as well. And he's a member of the Allegany High School National Honor Society. And we all know how hard that is to balance a training as rigorous as he's undertaken. And he's done it with finesse and tenacity. I want to remind everyone that we're going to expect to be watching him in the upcoming Summer Olympics in Paris, as he is currently training for the June Olympic trials. And I'm going to ask Mr. Blank and the board that they pay for the principal to attend the Olympics in Paris as well. But all kidding aside, Daniel, you have indeed made your family, Allegany High School, the Allegany County Public School System, extremely proud. And congratulations, and we wish you the best in your endeavor in your collegiate career academically and swimming.
Thank you.
Good job.
Congratulations, what accomplishments.
Thank you.
And good luck in North Carolina.
Thanks.
Wait a second. Got to tell me, what's your favorite stroke?
Right now, my favorite stroke is breaststroke, which used to be my worst stroke, but I've been working on it a lot, so it's fun for me.
And give us an idea of your training. I don't know if everybody understands the world-class athlete that we're talking to right now. So share a little bit of the training so everyone understands it.
So right now, I'm swimming 6 times a week. I'm lifting 4 times a week.
Oh, wait a minute. When you're swimming, tell us a little bit about your swimming. A
So-
workout consists of?
Yeah, a practice is 2 hours, 2.5 hours. On like longer days where I'm swimming easier, we'll do like 8,000 yards, which is 4-5 miles.
Yeah.
On a more like sprint focused day, those are actually harder doing sprints, we do like 4,000 or 5,000 yards.
Keep going. Then what? Come to the weightlifting, the diet, the whole.
Yeah, so I lift weights 4 times a week. Just pretty simple stuff. Then diet, I don't eat very healthy, to be honest, but I try to eat a lot of food because I'm trying to gain some weight.
Right. And your agenda now, tell us how you get to the Olympics. What's upcoming?
Yeah, so the Olympic trials are in June. I have a shot in a couple of different events. The 200 freestyle, I need to get top 6 at the Olympic trials to make the team. In the 100 backstroke, 200 backstroke, 200 IM, I would need to get 1st or 2nd to make the team, and I have a good shot of that, I think.
Great. Anyone else have any questions?
I just want to say that's very impressive and congratulations. Awesome.
Thank you.
What about your support team?
Support team, my mother, father, grandparents, my coach. Yeah, they help a lot.
It's kind of
And your principal.
And my principal, yeah. The school as well.
it's pretty fun helping somebody who works that hard, isn't it? Very real, I'm sure.
I'd just like, also, what I wanted to say was congratulate you for not only being so exceptional in athletics, but you've also been on the Honor Society. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Best of luck. That's just amazing. Just amazing. Got to see him in a while.
Next on the agenda is a recognition of the state unified team winners. I know Miss Leonard's sick. Who is? Principals are taking care of that?
Unified.
There we go.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Good morning, guys. No, you don't.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, I ain't talking.
Unless they ask you a question. All right. Come on, Tara. Come on.
I am.
Why are you hiding in the back?
I don't want to be seen. It feels weird. Oh, hi, bye.
All right.
The floor is yours.
Oh. Well, thank you for having us tonight. This is the Mountain Ridge Unified Flag Football. We have two teams. We have a 5 versus 5 team, and we also have a skills team. So both groups were able to be successful and win the state championship, which was quite an honor, especially as this is the first year that Maryland Special Olympics has had unified flag football. So it was quite exciting that both the Mountain Ridge team and the Fort Hill team that's coming in next, they had 2 divisions, and we were both able to come home successful. A lot of very exciting things that happened throughout the year. Just want to talk about a couple of them. Number one is the camaraderie and the teamwork between the athletes and the partners through the unified sports. The other thing, I was unfortunately not able to go to the state football championship game between Mountain Ridge and Fort Hill, but I listened to it on the radio. And the NFH announcers constantly were talking about the sportsmanship and the way the teams were helping each other out. And that's something I hadn't seen in a lot of the games in the past. Maybe it's from the unified sports because each of Fort Hill and Mountain Ridge had about 10 of their football team members that worked with the teams the whole year. They were the officials, they were the coaches, they were supporting them on the sidelines. And through that, both teams were interacting on every Tuesday at those flag football games. And that was great to see them interacting outside of the game. And I think that sportsmanship carried on through the game. So that's a win-win for everybody involved. The kids here we have tonight, I want to introduce them. The 5 versus 5 players were Jimmy Elliott, Alexa Daniel, and Tanner Lee. We had quite a number of other students that were there as well, and I don't want to miss somebody, so I want to make sure I read each of those additional names real quick that were on the team. Leland Hartman, Preston Wilson, Colton Whetstone, and Ethan Goebel were our athletes, and our partners, again, behind I had Alexa, Jimmy, and Tanner, and we also had Layla Miller, Lily Race, Ethan Dixon, Caleb Hartsfield, and Johnny Hanlon. One thing that you always look for in sports, whether it's unified, whether it's varsity sport, is development throughout the year and improvement, and it's something we definitely saw from our team. Great competition throughout the year. In the district tournament, the week before the state tournament, we had 2 teams at Mountain Ridge. Our other team was actually the district champs. Our other team had come up 2 points short against the Maryland School for the Deaf, and they turned around the next week and beat them for the state championship. So definitely showed improvement. They saw some things that we talked about that the other team kind of took advantage of us, and they listened and took that to heart and played great. The skills athletes were Hannah Pisecki, Caitlin Todd, Amber Green, and Jiren Gray. And what they did each week was they would have a competition where they would do 5 events. They would have to catch a football at different lengths. They would have to throw a football to someone who was catching it. They had to do the 40-yard dash. They did a throw for distance. And then they had to pull flags. So we would have, again, this is where the athletes from Mountain Ridge and Fort Hill's football teams helped out. They'd be standing out in the field with a flag, and the kids would have to go out and grab them. And it was kind of like a shuttle race. They'd have to do it as fast as they could. And once they took all those scores and averaged up all the different schools, our athletes were fortunate enough to win the state championship in the skills assessment also. So it was an opportunity for lots of different students to be involved, and we're looking forward to seeing that. And as anybody knows in sports, success breeds interest, and we had 68 kids sign up for unified bocce ball right after this, which is phenomenal. And we're I don't know what you do with 68 kids when you only have a few that can play. So we're trying to figure out how to manage. But we're going to try to do the same thing we did with football. We're going to have kids act as coaches. We're going to have students who are doing the measuring and helping out with so we're going to try to find a role for everybody and keep them involved. We definitely think these unified sports are an excellent opportunity for students of all ability levels to compete and to work together towards a common goal, which is definitely, I tell people all the time, I'm an algebra teacher. Obviously, I want kids to be able to solve equations or to do those different, but those soft skills, the ability to work together, teamwork, communication are extremely important, and those are things that they're all developing. So congratulations to these kids. Obviously, the Fort Hill Unified team coming in next, that was awesome, the competition throughout the year, and they had a great time competing and working together. I don't know if you want to hear from any of them. I don't questions.
First off, the board would like to present you as a team a plaque for your accomplishment and have that at your school. Congratulations on behalf of the board.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. I probably should have asked before I started what the time constraint was before I start talking.
We're celebrating. There's no
talk too
time
much.
constraint. There's no time constraint.
Anybody want to say?
Yeah, you have to.
So the other thing is always we're super excited too about our team because congratulations to Tanner. He was our only senior on the team, so all the other kids are very excited about coming back next year and playing again. So hopefully next fall we can come back here and do this again. So
It'd be
have a
great
good time.
to see him again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, folks.
Congratulations.
You hold it for a picture. We're gonna get a picture out there. You take it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Evening.
How are you this evening?
Good. Just right here. Stay right there.
The floor is yours.
All right. This is the, we have 4 members of the Unified Flag Football Team with us today. We have 3 athletes and 1 participant. It's Tate Shambaugh, Peyton Davis, Karis Canfield, and Dylan McDaniels. They, our skills team won, or they got a silver medal, but our actual flag team that played, they won their bracket, so therefore they got the gold medal. We had 3 of the athletes playing. We had 4 partners. Those partners, they're involved in other sports, so they couldn't come today. And yeah, it was, kids had fun. It was enjoyable. And when they first asked me to do it, I wasn't quite sure after coaching for so long, but never doing anything like this. But it was very enjoyable.
We thank you for your dedication.
On behalf of the board, we'd like to present you guys with this plaque to hang in your school.
Go ahead, Tate. You get it.
Congratulations.
If any of the students want to say anything?
You want to say something? Go ahead. Come on, you always say something.
Come on, Kate.
Come on. You always tell me something. Just tell them. Tell them what you did.
The bit right.
Congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, let's go. Go on, Dylan.
Next on the agenda is a recognition of the homecoming players. There he is. I knew he was hiding out in the hall.
What's up?
Go ahead.
Ready to roll?
You're ready to roll.
Okay. All right. So I've got Jabril with me today. He'll say a few words here shortly. But I'd like to thank the Board of Education for the recognition on the state title and all the support that we get from you guys each and every year. I'd like to congratulate Coach Ryan Patterson, his staff, his players, and the rest of the Mountain Ridge community on another great season. I'd like to thank our administration at Fort Hill for their support. No one does a better job at supporting their students and their staff than Mrs. Cannon, Mr. Castle, and Mr. Bauer. Carter, we'll speak on him first. He's an amazing specimen. He's been a big part of the last 3 state championship teams. Over the last 3 seasons, Carter helped lead his teams to a combined 38-1 record. He's won 2 more state titles in track and field, holds a number of school records, all with a 4.32 GPA. His efforts has led him to the opportunity to play at D1 football at Fordham University next fall. We couldn't be prouder of him. Wish him the best. As great as his last 4 years have been, the best is truly ahead for Carter. He's not able to be here tonight to accept this honor because of his wrestling match against East Hardy. Carter, however, did prepare a written acceptance, and I'll accept this on his behalf. Carter would like to thank the board for recognizing not only him, but our team's hard work this past year. He would like to thank his coaches, his teammates for sticking together and being confident in their ability to be successful this season. It was a great group of kids, and he wouldn't have wanted to do it with anybody else. Go Big Red. Got your bro up here with me. Oh, yep.
On behalf of the board, we have a plaque for Carter, so we'll send that with you.
Appreciate it.
So long.
Thank you. Before I let Jabril say a few words, I'd like to speak on his behalf. We all know Bril's story. As a freshman, he lost his brother to a senseless act of violence. A few months later, he lost his father, who was his everything. His father pushed him to be a better man, and he wanted what's best for his kids. After his father's passing, Bril could have packed it in, taken the easy road. However, his hardships have only made him stronger. The young man has blossomed into a great leader who wants the best for those around him. He's also improved his standing in the classroom and was 1 class away from straight A's this past 9 weeks. Jabril, your resolve to life difficulties has been an inspiration to those that know you. Keep up the good work.
I would also like to thank the board for this recognition. Being named homecoming officer player of the game is a great honor. I would like to thank my teammates for being there for me, especially my offensive line that opened up big holes for me to run through. I would also like to thank my coaches for believing in me to get the job done. I would like to thank Mike Allen for all his support through the years. Finally, I would also like to thank my brother Quan. I do all things for you.
All right, so also with us today, Braden Sines and Landon Sensible. They're members of our state championship team. I know I've kind of got ahead of myself earlier, but again, appreciate you guys for the recognition, and again, congratulations to Mountain Ridge. Thanking the staff again one more time. Also, our coaching staff, they spend a lot of time with our kids, oftentimes putting our kids ahead of sometimes their own. But biggest thanks to the players that spend hours upon hours working on their craft. They've battled each other day in and day out for years. There's an old football coaching adage that says iron sharpens iron, and you guys definitely gave the best that you could to each other. got better as a team week by week, walked away state champions, and couldn't be prouder of you guys. You guys work hard in the classroom, you work hard in the community and on the field, and they've grown into fine young men who are going to make our community a better place. And best of all, you guys did it the Fort Hill way. Thank you guys, and congratulations, and go Big Red.
I just want to say, my son had the privilege of playing with this group this year, and this group of seniors and Jabril and the whole varsity team, it's not just about the winning. It was a lot of fun to be a part of this group and the camaraderie and the way they stuck together, and they really are like a family. And I've had a kid go through there several times the last few years, and it was a very special group this year, and we're going to be sad to see some of you go. So good job, guys.
Sure. Thank you.
I do have a question. Both seniors? What was the hardest part of the season? I'll get you next year. What was the hardest part what is the hardest part of the season? What game, what moment to go undefeated? You tell me, what was it?
Season was probably in the off season. We have a strength coach, and he made a bunch of workouts for us, and he calls it the Murph, and that was probably the hardest part of my season. But that just prepared us for the game. So hardest game was Wadsworth too. So
I gotta agree. The hardest game was definitely Wadsworth, but I think the hardest part was coming in to the season. Coach Alcar leaned on me and a couple other linemen to really carry the team, especially early. And I took that like personal because I knew like this is what we needed. So that's probably the hardest part because I knew all the pressure and everything that was on me.
So in the game that you both referred to when we went for 2, tell me about it. You had it all the way?
Go ahead, Brill. Tell them about it.
Yeah, this is a fair game for all 3 of you.
So we was going to run a play. It was going to be a pass play. And we caught a timeout, but I told the coaches no, give me the effing ball.
So what'd you do, Coach?
We gave him the ball.
Gave him the ball.
when you have and it wasn't just him. Like the line, they made some switches and they wanted to run a certain way. They wanted 3 guys on that side of the ball. We wanted to get as many kids as that we knew could get the job done on one side and student body right. And when they show the confidence to do that, then we're going to give them.
Because if I'm remembering right, the other team seemed like the whole community came, and their team was huge, and a number of you played both ways. That started taking a toll a little bit towards the end until the very end. And
it was, they made their comeback and they took the lead, and it wasn't a great scene on the sidelines when they went up. But they had a couple of big plays on offense with a couple minutes to go, and I tell you guys when we got about the 30-yard line, we're going to go for 2. There's no other choice but to go for 2. We're spent. We're tired. We're going to win in regulation, and they got the job done.
Just shows a lot of character.
Sure.
When you have to come back like that at the end. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And a lot of good coaching.
A lot of good players.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Next on the agenda is the instructional update, pre-K to 4. Miss Jackie Enright.
It'll take a little while.
There you go.
You have enough chairs, you think?
We'll see.
I know him.
Just right. Just right. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Hi, I'm Jackie Enright. I'm the Early Learning Supervisor here at the Board of Ed. I also have Stacy Noah, Assistant Supervisor here. And as you know, Pillar 1 in the Blueprint for Maryland's Future focuses on expanding full-day quality early learning pre-K programs through a mixed delivery system. One of the overarching tenets of the Blueprint plan involves a structured approach for programs to be recognized by the state as a high-quality program. Pre-K programs must engage in an intense process that requires collaboration and commitment to reaching the state's high-level standards. In Allegany County, we're fortunate that our early learning coach has designated time to coordinate the processes involved in accreditation, including participation in self-appraisals, reviewing classroom materials and furniture needs, guiding teachers in the data collection process, and supporting principals as they gather the necessary documents and submit proof of meeting the many required components. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our early learning coach, Dr. Sherry Homestetter, who will share more detailed information about the process and then identify the schools who are now considered to have high-quality pre-K programs.
Good evening. Maryland accreditation is a process in which pre-K programs commit to continuous quality improvement to benefit children, family, and staff. Accreditation challenges programs to reach to standards that develop and maintain high-quality learning environments for early learners, as well as strengthening relationships with families and the community. Schools that fully meet expectations for policies and procedures that include the components of program administration, instructional practices, learning environments, and connecting with families in the community. All components must be met in order for the program to be considered fully accredited by the Maryland State Department of Education. Accreditation is recognized for 3 years before the process has to start again for a program. Another component of the high-quality program recognition by the state includes reaching the highest level in Maryland Excels. Child care and public school programs that participate in Maryland Excels are committed to providing the best possible education and care. High-quality child care and education builds stronger communities, supports family success, and improves student outcomes in school and in life. Excels ratings begin at a level 1 and increase to the highest achievement being a level 5. Last school year, Allegany County Public Schools received accreditation and achieved level 5 in Excels in all pre-K4 programs that participated. This year-long process required the collaborative work of the pre-K teachers, assistants, school administrators, and coaches. The accreditation process was also supported by Apples for Children staff through a MSDE pre-kindergarten grant. Pre-K program staff and administrators conducted a self-appraisal of their programs, instructional practices, and environment to determine their school's rating on each required component. The team then created a program improvement plan with established goals and timelines to reach during the school year. The pre-K team and school administrators worked diligently to gather required documentation while continually striving for improvement in the classroom environment. The accreditation process culminated with an on-site validation visit from staff from MSDE. Schools had to fully meet standards in order to be considered accredited. After accreditation was obtained, schools were then required to add documentation to support reaching a level 5 in Excels. School administrators worked over the summer and into the fall, submitting evidence to meet the stringent guidelines. Teachers, assistants, coaches, and administrators put in many extra hours of work to become accredited. We are grateful for their efforts, and we're proud to present the programs who are now recognized as high-quality early learning environments. So I'm going to say the school, and we're going to have their staff step forward, if that's okay. Okay, Cache Valley Elementary School. Principal, Dr. Lisa Stevenson. Pre-K teacher, Ashley Perrin, and teaching assistant, Haley Shercliffe. Haley could not be here this evening. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks. Cresaptown Elementary School. Principal Scott Llewellyn, Assistant Principal Karen Sue Irons, Pre-K Teacher Jody Sweeney, and Pre-K Teaching Assistant Leanne Crow. Flintstone Elementary School. Principal Shannon Ralston, she was ill and could not be here this evening. So we have Pre-K teacher Emily Foote and Pre-K teaching assistant Judy Helton. John Humbard Elementary School. Oh, I skipped that. Principal Heather Morgan, Pre-K teacher Susan Howard, Pre-K teaching assistant Cindy Siebert could not be here, and we have assistant principal Melissa Moran. Sorry. Frost Elementary School. Principal Tessa Farrell was ill, could not be here this evening. Pre-K teachers are Michaela George and Tiffany Hardman, and teaching assistant Tiffany DeLauder could not be here this evening. And Mount Savage Elementary School. Principal Dr. Laura Holland, Assistant Principal Amber Roetruck, Pre-K teacher Alyssa Harris, and Pre-K teaching assistant Amy Sloanaker. We also just want to take a minute to also thank Tracy Gomer for Apples for Children. She is here. Tracy. It's been a great partnership working with Apples for Children to help us through this process as well, which has been wonderful. We also want to acknowledge, previously we had South Penn, Georges Creek, and Westernport. Pre-K programs were accredited due to their participation in the Pre-K expansion grant the year previously. So they'll be coming up for renew this upcoming school year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before we move on, just I do have a question.
Oh, yes.
Could you share with the board and whoever wants to share with the board the hours and the time that's been put into this? This is a huge lift, and unless you're in the building seeing it firsthand, it's just amazing what our employees and all the support teams, everybody that comes together to make sure that we're successful in this. So anybody want to share a little bit about just the time and effort that it takes?
Just feel like it really took a village in my school, everybody working together, just coming together and sharing and working and meeting and dividing and conquering.
Dividing and conquering.
Including husbands.
It is a true family effort, right? Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm just really proud of my staff and what we did last year. And just imagine having to justify every single thing that you did, from the words that you spoke to the things that you hung on the wall, to the furniture you used, to the centers that you're about to have, to the height of the posters on your wall, to the way kids come in, and have somebody judge that. And for our staff and our schools to be recognized not only for making that, but to be recognized at the highest level, level 5 standard. So many hundreds of hours went into labeling things, getting the correct looks, having the correct goals, doing the right centers, designing the right things, and so kudos to the people who are involved in that. So thank you for recognizing us.
Yeah. I don't think the words can do everyone justice for all the hard work. The only thing I know to do is say congratulations and how much we appreciate everything you do for our students. So thank you.
don't know that all you folks want to sit through the next, so you can be excused.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
He even sounds like you.
He almost looks as good, though. Almost.
Next on the agenda is the Next Generation Scholars, Mr. Webb.
Good evening. I was hoping you were going to keep them there. It looks better when my bosses look at it on the replay on YouTube. But thanks for having me. We're in year 7 of the program, and I'm going to review year 6 and tell you about what's coming up in year 7. This is actually my 3rd year here, so time is flying by. At Maryland Business Roundtable, our motto is every student a future, every business a success. I like to say that there's learning and there's leading others into learning. One says I taught them, the other says we learned together. As you can see on the board, that's the overall impact of the 5 counties that have the Next Generation Scholar Program. Out of that $2.65 million, approximately $300,000 comes from Allegany County of the Fort Hill High School. Of the 107 grants that were given, approximately 21 came from Fort Hill High School. And these slides, the next 2 slides, they're about numbers, and numbers are important, but the slides that come after the numbers are more important because they're the student stories. The numbers have a story, but the most important part is the student stories. I just want to highlight a couple areas. The FAFSA workshops, one of my goals when I started was to increase visibility, to increase participation. And with the FAFSA workshops that I've been having, I had 5 in year 6. I had students from Mountain Ridge, Allegany, and Fort Hill. I had parents from all 3 schools, which increases, even though I don't count the students and the money that comes from the other school, it just feels good to know that I'm impacting the whole county because that's my title, the Allegany County Coordinator. And that's what I wanted to do, to increase the impact in the whole community. Another one I wanted to point out is the STEM and science learning. This is something that I just started. STEM is important to me. My son is in cybersecurity, and I think we're at a time where more and more careers are reliant on STEM, and they're relying on our students to have a deep understanding of STEM principles. So I thought it was important to bring in Potomac State College has helped us out with the STEM learning and just getting our students exposed to STEM and STEM principles, and maybe there's a future for them there. This is from class of 2022. 73% were college bound, 17% careers, 8% went to the trade route, and 2% went to the armed forces. We have 16 student ambassadors. Allegany used to have 1 student ambassador. In the 6 years that we had the program, there was 1 student ambassador representing Allegany County. This year we have 5 in year 7. They had the opportunity to participate in our annual meeting with our partners and an industry day at McCormick Industries, which is famous for Old Bay. They got to make soda, they got to make spices, they got to season food. If you recognize the guy to my top left, that's Chef Stretch. If you watch any of the food shows, he was runner-up in Gordon Ramsay's. I'm not sure which one, but he was runner-up. And he came to speak. They got to share the floor with him, as well as our Lieutenant Governor they shared the floor with. Our student ambassadors are Fort Hill is Alexis Hevner, Cole Blank, Sierra Ross, and Jensen Moreland. And we actually have one from Allegany High School, Matthew McKay. Started an alumni program. It's great that they go to college, but Sometimes a lot of students will come back from college that they just weren't prepared. So I'm trying to build in a support system of mentoring, getting them into the classrooms and telling them what college is like, what to expect. And also, I want to get them into classrooms to do our Maryland, it was Scholars, but now it's Pathways, where they go into the 7th and 8th grade, and they become the volunteers for the program. We do have local business volunteers that come in and do our Maryland Pathways, but I thought it would be great if we have alumni that actually been through the program to tell them about their experiences. Just created the Next Gen Scholar Leaders. They do a lot of recruitment for me, and that'll be the next slide to show the impact there. But they have attended a leadership workshop also at Potomac State College. They help with end of the year planning for the event. They help support the mock interviews that we have. Mock interviews is one of our biggest community partnerships in which businesses from the community come in and interview our 11th grade students in a mock interview. Through that, we have approximately 90% of the students leave there with a functional resume. They come in, about 10 to 15% already have a resume, but after our mock interview and our resume workshops, about 90% left with a functional resume. And they also, the biggest one for them is the 8th grade orientation. When Washington Middle School comes over, they actually take part in it. They come to my office, and I let the Next Gen leaders talk about the program and do the recruiting. This is our current numbers. If you see, our sophomores is the highest because I've allowed the students to do the recruiting. They do a better job at recruiting than I do. I think when it's a peer involved, I'm focusing on having the students have ownership in the program, enhancing the educational experience through the ownership. I want to inspire leadership. John Maxwell once said, if you have no leadership, you're only adding. When you have leadership, you're multiplying. And as you can see from the 10th grade, allowing them to do the recruiting, they're multiplying. They're doing a much better job than I did. And that's through the first 2 months of the school year. They're at 45. So our goal is to get 60 by the end of the year. Our fall and winter events, we had the Potomac State Leadership Workshop in October. We just came back from Garrett on the 5th to visit the college and the workforce development. I want to support in any way I can the blueprint, in which 45% of our students will have some type of certificate or trade. So introducing our young students to that type of environment and seeing what's available, I thought was important. The mock interviews on Monday, M&T Bank, which we've partnered with, is coming in to do financial literacy with our seniors at Fort Hill High School, and the career tour, which is a really popular event with our 10th grade students where they actually go out into the community. This year we're going to Websteront, Carl Belt, Cumberland YMCA, and Centos. So I try and keep a wide variety of opportunities for our students. I should really wear my glasses sometimes. Again, I want to support in any way I can with the blueprint, career tours, the college visits, learning about the college financial aid, learning about trades and what's available, and back into the middle school. For a few years, we haven't been in the middle schools, but I'm pushing to get back into the middle schools. I actually was at Braddock yesterday, and I was at Washington Middle School last month, just trying to plant the seed of what's in the blueprint and supporting them so they're college or career ready. Upcoming, planning a spring visit to Hood College and either Bowie State or Frostburg State University will be the other one. Alumni workshop, which I want to train the alumni into being volunteers, so that hopefully that's in January. Next Gen Leader training is at Potomac State College again in February during Engineers Week with the focus on STEM and STEM advocacy. And our semester 2 classroom sessions, which include recruitment advocacy, credit building, and loans, which my particular interest in the student loan is that it's aspirational, but I would love for every student in the program that wants to go to college have 100% of their college paid for. That's my aspirational goal. But that requires a lot of work through FAFSA, which is, you know, as we know, is not ready yet. It's December 31st, it'll be available. That's kind of behind, which puts me behind in what I do, but it's really getting out there, getting the parents involved, the parent engagement, the student engagement, and making sure all the I's and all the T's are dotted. Just a short story of what happened last year. There was a student that had a partial athletic scholarship to Frostburg State University, and that wasn't enough. Giving him a partial and his family a partial scholarship was great, but they didn't have the funding to support the rest of the bill. He came into my office, asked for support. We filled out a few scholarship papers. We did the MD Cap account. It came back. I said, you have to check your email at least weekly to make sure when you're awarded that you accept the award. Well, kids are kids, and he didn't check his email. He was awarded $3,000 of an educational assistant grant. Still not enough to get him through college. So when he texted me, I said, what is it? Do you have another indicator on your sheet? And he said, yes, it has a red X by it, so I figured I didn't get it. And I said, let me call. So I met him at Chick-fil-A. We called, and he said, the person at MSDE said there's a red X because he didn't accept it in time. He said, we'll give him 24 hours to accept the award. So I said, we sat there, and I said, let's just refresh your browser and see if they award you right now. The red X turned into a green check. I said, let's see what happens. He checked it. The award was for $17,000. He doesn't have to worry about whether he wants to play college football, but if that doesn't work out, his tuition is still paid for. Everything is still paid for. Even if he decides football isn't for me, he still has his education paid for. And I think it's those type of experiences, the student stories of getting support, of having the opportunity to go to college, to get a trade, or to go into the workforce is what I love about what I do and working with you guys in the schools. Anybody watching, we can stay connected. We now have an Instagram page. It's about 1 month old, so don't expect much. And always the information is available on Facebook at Allegany County Next Generation Scholars. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Webb?
You're going to leave me hanging?
Here, I'll say something.
Thank you.
You've been doing great work in our school. I was a part of Next Gen a few years ago. I wanted to be this year, but schedule was packed, so I wasn't able to. But I definitely know that the kids that go, they really love it, and that he's doing a lot in our school system. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate all the hard work you do for our students.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is the hearing of constituents. The only one signed that I have is Ms. Sloan.
Well, good evening. We certainly are having tidings of great joy and the holiday spirit. All these wonderful accomplishments that have occurred through our students, our staff, and I'd like to continue to bring you these tidings on behalf of the members of the Allegany County Education Association. At this time of year, we tend to wax nostalgic and try to elicit the positive experiences of past seasons through music, food, and other traditions. One such century-old tradition was to bring an apple to your teacher as a sign of appreciation and thanks. There are a number of theories about how apples came to be associated with educators, but the tradition may have originated for more practical reasons than you might think. Before modern schools existed, teachers often lived with families they worked for and were paid very little. In the Apple Delights cookbook, the author Karen Hood is quoted to say that during the 16th and 18th centuries, parents throughout Denmark and Sweden often gifted teachers with baskets of apples and other food to help compensate for their poor wages. The U.S. faced a similar situation. On the American frontier, families were often responsible for housing and providing for teachers if they wanted their children to attend school. Because apples were an abundant crop that were available during the school season, students would bring teachers apples as a form of sustenance and as a token of appreciation. It is thought that the tradition of bringing apples to teachers carried on even after schools were modernized. In the 1920s, apple polishing was used as a common slang term for trying to win the favor of a teacher. Apples continue to show up as symbols for teachers and education over the years. While the origin of the apple tradition is not set in stone, it's clear the thread between apples and education spans multiple decades and continents. Regardless of its origin, the tradition of giving apples to educators has always been a way of showing appreciation. While educators may still receive tokens of appreciation from students and parents today, we rarely receive apples. But even more rare is to know how our work has impacted our students' future endeavors and those whom they in turn impact. However, this evening I would like to share with you just such a rare gift that was recently received by one of our members and who is present today. This gift was sent from a former ACPS student, Dr. W. Hunter Barclay, currently of Charleston, South Carolina, and it is with Dr. Barclay's express permission that I share this gift of appreciation with you this evening. Senora Shepatuk, I have been doing my residency in emergency medicine in Charleston, South Carolina for the past several months. I have cared for many Spanish-speaking patients. Almost 1 decade later, I still attribute your class to providing me with a strong foundation in Spanish. This foundation has proved invaluable, especially when caring for trauma patients. This past month, I was the only person in the emergency department who was able to communicate with a child during a trauma and a pregnant patient during a trauma evaluation. I sincerely thank you for your teaching, which continues to touch lives years later. Without your class, especially the simulated conversation, the journals, and the reading assignments, I would not have such a strong foundation. I hope you're doing well. I thank Dr. Barclay for expressing both his gratitude and for sharing the excellent learning opportunities that our educators provide each day to the students of the Allegany County Public Schools. I hope that this inspires you and other members of our community to take a few minutes out of your busy schedule, like Dr. Barclay, and offer a note of thanks to those educators who have helped you, your children, or even your grandchildren grow. Before I finish, though, I would like to officially thank you for the ongoing support of the board by the Board of Education, Mr. Blank, in connection with our annual ACEA Toys for Happiness Day, which we held recently on Tuesday, November 28th. This year, the staff of ACPS donated 177 toys, as well as $2,244.35 as our holiday gift to the children of our community. Happy holidays to all.
Thank you very much. Anyone else need to speak? Didn't sign up? Okay. Any response from the board? Good. Next is new business. Consider regulation review of energy conservation. Mr. Llewellyn.
You have policy regulation ECFR1 in front of you. The highlighted text that's not crossed out is what's proposed to be added to this, and it's just to set guidelines for temperature settings in our schools and I guess other buildings. And it's a regulation, so as long as the board doesn't vote to send it back to policy committee, then it's enacted.
I hear nothing. Report of Special Advisory Committee, Student Board Member.
So first, just some things going on at Fort Hill. The National Honor Society is working on our service project, and we are planning on donating to the food bank, and I'm on the wrong page, and the animal shelter. And also, there will be a MABE conference held on December 14th, that's virtual, to review the blueprint implementation for the Maryland Higher Education Commission and take action on the LEA Blueprint Implementation Guide. And all of the SMOBs of the counties in Maryland, as well as the state SMOB, we are planning on creating a handbook for future SMOBs, just some tips and tricks for those planning to take up this position. So thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you. I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas from the board also.
Thank you. I'm hoping for an acceptance letter.
Right. Okay. We also need a vote to meet in executive session on January 9th, 2024 as necessary.
I move to meet in executive session January 9th, 24, as necessary.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Bond, second by Ms. Lepley. All those in favor? Unanimous. Board member updates.
This is Tammy Fraley. I just have a short one. The Maryland Association of Boards of Education is working through their legislative positions, and part of that is asking each board in each county to make sure that if you have any special requests, that you provide those to, for you guys, it would be to me, but to your representatives so that they can help you in any legislative needs that you may have. They work together with the PASAM organization, which is the superintendent's organization. So there's a lot of legislative activity that's going to be taking place in this coming session related to the blueprint, and we will be impacted whether we want to be or not. So we do need to be a part of that. And also, I spoke previously about the consortium on coordinated community supports. That has gone out, and they are in the process of awarding grants. All 24 counties or municipalities have submitted requests for proposals, which is great. Allegheny County being one of them. Was excited about that because usually we don't get involved in those because they're more downstate. So there's that's coming, as well as the Maryland PTA organization has reached out asking for us to provide them any input that we may have on any schools in our area, in our county, that would like to have a PTA. So I just got that request, actually a meeting before this one today. So I'll be reaching out to Superintendent Blank to talk about that. But it's, if in the community, if anyone's interested in PTAs or any type of parent-teacher organization within the schools, I know there are some, but they're not part of the state organization. So if anybody wants to be part of that, please reach out to me and I'll try to coordinate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board member? Dr. Bond.
Move to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Jeez.
I'll second to adjourn.
Dr. Bond made a motion to adjourn.
Let's adjourn.
Bender
That was last month's
seconded.
folder.
All those in favor?
Last month's binder.
We're adjourned.